everybody. Welcome to Sacred Foundation's December reading. Yeah, we're a little late. I had a surprise birthday party that my kids threw for me, and and then I got a cold, a real cold, and so yeah, putting it all together. But what Jill and I always say, it's all perfect timing, right, Jill? It's all perfect timing. So. I'm Jill Euphrainer. Welcome to December. Yes, go ahead.
So I want to say that because I really do believe and trust in perfect timing. But I will say for me personally, I have got to make sure that I'm not using the excuse of perfect timing for not showing up for things that I've committed to, or, procrastinating or whatever. So I do believe that this is truly perfect timing and not an excuse. So I just want you to know that I am coming from my heart when I say feels like absolute perfect timing. Our original intention, obviously, was to do a reading the beginning of the month, do our meditation and frequency work later in the month. That was the intention, and that's not what happened. But it was not from procrastinating and or not keeping a commitment. So divine timing, yes.
Divine timing. Yes, I love it. And Jill and I had just recently done our introductory video. So if you haven't had a chance yet, maybe after this, you can go back, and if you don't know who we are, and go check us out in that introductory. Jill will post it down below as well. Yeah, so welcome. We have been shuffling prior to hitting record because that's what we do. We chat and shuffle. That's what we do. And so this month for December, we kind of wanted to since it's so late, we thought our theme will be wrapping up 2021. So we'll do the Cross of Truth pull. Yeah, Jill, you ready to pull those cards?
I am.
She's going to pull 1, 3, and 5, and I'm going to pull 2 and 4.
All right, so I like to go in sequential order. So I pulled 1. So if you're ready to pull 2.
I pulled 2.
3.
And 4.
And 5.
Mm-hmm.
All right, drum roll. Okay, so the very first card is basically kind of like the theme for what 2021 was for us collectively in this space. And I got Eternal Moon. And this is like a super esoteric card for me. So Jules, reminds me, are we going to talk about this card now or no? Or are we going to go through all 5?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay.
I think you're ready. So let's go talk about it. Let's talk about it.
I was ready to turn it over to you. So as far as being a moon goddess, I defer to Julia because she is all about the Luna circle that she holds. That you've been doing that for how long
now? 3 years.
Okay, so you in this dynamic are wholeheartedly the expert of the moon. So I love that. I love that the richness of moon energy is coming into this from the basis of 2021. So share your wisdom with me, sister, because I want to hear this.
Yeah, okay, no pressure there. I think that's what you said about me last time. No pressure there. So I do love the moon. And it is, I'm just going to say as a disclaimer, I'm learning about the moon and her cycles. And she is never not whole. She is always whole. Always whole. And is always holding that space for us, and is an invitation for each new moon is an invitation for new creation. It's like the blank canvas. It's also like a new year every new moon. So, and then following that, and then the waxing and the waning, it speaks so much of who we are. There's so much connection. And I think recently, one of the things that's really coming up strong for me with the moon and the cosmos in and of itself is that it is as big and expansive as it is in the universe. It's the as above, so below, as within, so without. That expansiveness is within us. And so where does that eternal moon shine within you, right? Where is it moving each month through you? And that is beyond just the, not just, but it is beyond, the thought is beyond what the similarities between a woman's cycle and the lunar cycle. But the moon crosses each of the zodiac every about 2.5 days as it goes through its lunar month. And a lunar month is from, to me, is from new moon to new moon. And the full moon is the peak of that lunar month. So we just hit the peak of the Sagittarius lunar month because the new moon was earlier in December. And the full moon in Gemini was just last week. And where I'm leading with this is it is so beautiful how this full moon bled into the solstice. They've merged together. So you have this full moon window of about 3 days and the solstice, which is sun stands still for about 3 days. In that stillness, in that peace, as we're wrapping up 2021 at the peak of this lunar month, you have the gift, looking at the how you want to close 2021 in that mysticalness, the eternalness, the dreaminess, all of the gifts that the moon has to offer us. Thanks, Jill.
Yeah, that's awesome. And that, you know, we'll tie that into the rest of the cards as we go around. But if we looked at it just from a basic theme of 2021, everything Julia said, and then for people like me that really want to follow the lunar cycle and really maximize the wisdom that she has for us, the basic level is that our whole life journey is cycles upon cycles upon cycles, endings, beginnings. So if we look at this eternal moon and we know that 2021 was this ebb and this flow of one cycle beginning and another cycle ending, some of those were positive and joyful endings or new beginnings, and some of them not so much. So we know that there's this ebb and this flow to the moon energy. And I mean, when is life ever really not an ebb and a flow? But let's just face it, the last couple of years for most people has really been an interesting ride. And I will leave it at that. All right, second card.
Yeah. Can I just add before we do that, because
Sure.
I think this is poignant. I pulled up, you know, this card is by our beautiful friend Joanne Parker and jotree, and her opening words, as now think of the theme as I read her opening words, the wise words of jotree. Speaking of eternal moon, she says, "I am a constant anchor, a key, a light. My message to you has to do with the balance of light and shadow." And so I feel that those words are really profoundly important, knowing what the theme of this reading is, knowing that we're at the solstice, the moon just wrapped up in its fullness, in its glory. Okay, are you ready for me to go to?
I love that, yeah.
Yeah, okay. The second card is how you feel. And this could hold your hopes and your dreams as you're wrapping up 2021. Pathway to inner gold. How beautiful. That is so great. So as we're journeying along, should I go ahead and talk now, or should you want to wait? Like, oh, it's just coming in, right?
Yeah, no, go ahead and start talking.
So the pathway to inner gold is just so beautiful when you're thinking about what have you gold mined in 2021. Like we have to go deep, and I know many of us have gone deep lately, and we're going to continue to go deep. It's sort of like that balance of shadow and light, the dark and the lightness. And the this pathway to inner gold, this is your path. This is a wonderful time to check your true north. To, as you get ready to embark on a new year, what is it that you're leaving behind? What is it that you've gold mined, and what are you taking with you? We come out richer in one way or another. We just get to choose to come out richer, and igniting your path as you're beginning to step into a new year is so beautiful. So that's how I feel about it. I hope that it's a hope, but I can see that it could be hopes and fears, both coming out of 2020 and now 2021. Jill, any thoughts?
Yes. So because my background is as an energy healer, I always think about the chakra system and the journey through the chakra system as we heal, release, align, that which we need to. So there's that journey of going within, finding out what's important to us, what's our values, and really kind of tuning into our own inner wisdom and looking at all aspects of ourselves. And sometimes those aspects are not as pretty as other parts, but I love the way that the artist has all of these different layers. And then she's got the black hair, not that the black is bad or whatever, but it's the darker side, it's our shadow, which some people, when they started their spiritual journey, they learned that it was body, mind, spirit, shadow. And then there's a whole other group of people that never wanted to look at the shadow, and they only wanted to look at the light. And whatever works for you. I'm not saying one way is right or one way is wrong. I will say, in my personal experience and my experience with my clients, is that the shadow has great depth and wisdom for us. Like, our souls came here to master in the most beautiful, benevolent way, to master our lives and our expression of ourselves. And in that mastery, there is looking at the dark and the shadow. So, and by doing so, that really leads you to your inner gold and your outer expression.
Right. And just something that came to me in what you're saying is that being in the discomfort, learning to be in the discomfort is so important as you're doing shadow work. Thank you.
And because this is an end of the year reading, right, I really get the essence, or I really get the feeling that the people that are watching this video, you showed up, you did your inner work. You might, still have more to go, don't we all? But I'd say kudos to you, because it really just energetically kind of feels like you've been showing up and you're really doing your work. So good on you.
Good on you.
All right. So the third card is the helpful energy card, and it is one of my favorites. It is Awakening. I love this card. I love everything about this card. I love the word, I love the colors, I love the imaging, and how perfect. So individually and collectively, we've been going through an awakening. That awakening has been accelerated. And again, sometimes that awakening is a beautiful, amazing, incredible, wonderful feeling. And sometimes it's uncomfortable. And just because the awakening is uncomfortable doesn't mean you're doing anything wrong. But this is really a time of great awakening. And I love the color of the card is surrounded by green, which is the color of healing, the color of the heart chakra. So there's just a lot of love and support from the universe that is helping us during this awakening process. And that's a true gift. Jules, what do you got?
Yeah, I just, I don't remember who, sorry, Mary Keough did this card, but I love her words here. I don't know why I'm just drawn to the artist's words today, but awakening to your inner light, wake up, the dawn is here. Again, another perfect statement, words of wisdom as we are coming, through the solstice right now and headed into the Christmas season. A bright star shines for you today, illuminating your path to reveal the beauty in all you encounter. Awaken to the perfection in all things and in yourself. So I love that. That I think as a helpful energy card, that this card couldn't be more perfect moving into a new year as a reminder to awaken to self-loving, going into that unstruck place within our heart chakra. So, so beautiful. I love it. Are we ready?
Ready.
Number 4?
Yes.
Okay. So when I pulled this, I haven't turned it over yet, but it was upside down to me, which always, a card that comes upside down most often means to me to have more emphasis. And the 4th card is the obstacle. And before I even turn it over, what I'm hearing is what is the obstacle that you want to leave behind in 2021 that you don't need to take with you? That's what's coming to me. But the card is divine alignment. So how does that fit in? Oh, Jill, I just have to think about this one for a minute. Anything come to you right off?
In the context of, you said that this is something that you feel that you're supposed to leave behind.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That would, this is not nice, but since that wasn't like the personal message that I had gotten, I wouldn't look at it like that. So I'm gonna have to, if you want to think about what that might mean, and you want me to go first,
That's good.
and
Yes,
then you
do.
pull
I'm just
out.
sitting with it right now.
Okay. So let me just clarify that. So to me, when a card shows up in the obstacle position, I love what Julia said, because you kind of do read it overall with the intention that you had for the reading, which was, kind of closing out 2021. But for me, when I look at the divine alignment card, first of all, one of my co-facilitators created this card. She's a good friend of mine. I love her dearly. I love this card, and I love them all. I've just, whatever. Anyway, as an obstacle, what gets in the way of your divine alignment and or building your sacred foundation? Is it that you're doing too much for other people, that you're not allowing yourself to have the time that you need? So in that sense, giving yourself the space and the time to do 5 minutes of meditation a day, sit down, count 10 conscious breaths, give yourself some time. Now, look, I'm not saying people aren't busy at different levels, right? Some people have the time. Some people are busy from the second that they wake up to the second that they go to bed at night. But then when you're in the shower, give yourself a moment of alignment. Thank the water. If you take a hot shower, thank the fire element for heating up that water. Give thanks to the earth for the solidity of the tub or shower that you're standing in. Give thanks to the air that you're breathing. Give thanks to spirit that's all around us. So even in your busyness, when you're in the bathroom taking a shower or actually using the bathroom, you have a minute. You have a minute to center into your heart space. You have a minute to consciously align with some breaths or some intention or whatever. And if you're not allowing yourself that time for that divine alignment with your true essence and then grounding into the physical plane, you're not doing yourself justice. And again, I've got clients that tell me that they don't have any time. And I lovingly invite them to consider something that I think I heard this from Lisa Sonora, calls it time stacking. Most people drink a cup of coffee or tea or a morning juice in the morning. They take a shower, they use the restroom. Take that, stack your divine alignment on something you're already doing, and give yourself that time and that space for that alignment. That's a little bit preachy. I don't mean to be preachy.
Well, it helped me to come into what I was feeling and how do I connect with, I was hearing this, what do I leave behind? And then this beautiful divine alignment comes up, and what does that mean? And just what you're saying is, for me, what it's what needs to be left behind is the idea that we are separate from the divine, that our spiritual sacred foundation is not part of our everyday practical mystical self. It's all one. And moving into 2022, it feels really strong that the obstacle would be keeping those things separate. We're in a world where division is we see a lot of division, and the need to be careful that you, as a human being having a spiritual experience, your flesh and your spirit is not divided at this time, that it requires us to be in body, to embody this earthen temple of who we are. And I mentioned I think it was the first card about the moon and the cosmos within you, and you see all of this constellation right here, and bringing that in, that reinforces that we are as much an earthen temple and made up of the elements of earth, of earth herself, and fire for energy, water, and air, as we are cosmic dust, cosmic energy. And it's time to integrate all of that, moving forward into a new year, to begin to recognize that your spirituality, your sacredness is part of who you are as a whole, and taking that holistic approach to the fact that you are a divine being. There is divine alignment with who and what you are is so important. So I think that's what it was. It was like not keeping you separate from your spirituality, from your sacred growth, and integrating yourself, your energetic body, your physical body, your spiritual body, your emotional body, your energetic body, your mental body, all of it integrating into a divine alignment as you move forward. Woo! Thank you.
Yay, go you. You did it. That was awesome. I like the way that tied in there. Okay, so the answer outcome advice card is waiting. So, with all of the changes and the experiences and everything that we've gone through, we want change like this. Like we want everything to happen so we can just move forward. Let me speak for me. I can personally be guilty of that often. But to me, this card really just kind of represents, I feel like this is going to mean different things to different people for sure, because we want you to read these cards and look at the words and the images and take them into your heart and see what they mean for you personally. But overall, she is grounded, this woman standing on this stump. She has her arms up. She has her arms up to the divine, and she's receiving that guidance, almost like that integration that Julia just talked about. And she is taking a minute. I've used that phrase a lot this year. I just need a minute. Just give me a minute. So as you close out 2021, give yourself a minute and let yourself just remember what came up for you that was great, what came up for you that was not great, what did you not achieve that you wanted to, what would you have done differently? But don't judge it. Do it from the observer perspective and just allow it to be what it is in that space. And then, if you're a kinesthetic, clairsentient person, if you put your hands up, you might be able to feel the energy of the universe just kind of coalescing in your space. So, Julia.
You know me and my silly sense. All I could hear right away when that card came up is wait. The waiting is the hardest part. If I could sing, I'd sing that for you, but I can't remember what song that's from. We'll have to find it and maybe share this. But the waiting is the hardest part, right? Developing that patience. Yes, in the beginning of this, the writing, the wisdom, it says patience, timing, ready, attentive, focus, expectation, expectation, prepared, perseverance. I love those. Those words are so beautiful as we're in that waiting period. And I love that Jill invited each of us to, as we leave behind 2021 and we merge into 2022, to be in that state of waiting to what wants to come, as she said, as the observer. I think that is such a beautiful, beautiful invitation. Thank you.
All right. So as we just kind of really wrap it up, a lot of times I like to look at the helpful energy card and the obstacle card, because sometimes those can be like action cards of, what you can utilize as far as an actual tool that could be implemented. So obviously, giving yourself the space to meditate, whatever that looks like for you, tune into conscious breathing. But so as far as awakening goes, journaling is a beautiful thing to do. And just reflect on, either in your journal or just in your mind, like, what does awakening mean towards you? What are you being called for? Like, what are you waking up to? What's an idea that you've had, or something that you thought you might want to implement or start doing that you maybe haven't yet, but you're willing to? What could that look like for you? And then the obstacle card, like we talked about, what Julia had said, is what it kind of goes hand in hand with the awakening. What practice can you implement for yourself? Stack if you need to. If you truly are one of those people that are super, super, super busy, where can you bring in that connection, that deep connection to the above and the below? So you do have action steps, right? Because information is wonderful, but unless you take it and you do some type of an action, or a non-action is still an action, then that kind of assists you. So you've done a lot of healing work. From the essence of this card that I'm getting is you have done a lot of healing work, body, mind, and spirit. So celebrate all you've accomplished and all that you've done. So I think that's amazing. Because we usually do a meditation and a healing frequency session during the month, but we don't really have that many days left in the month. Julia, do you want to just say a closing out prayer, thoughts to just kind of help people tune into their inner wisdom? And while you're doing that, I'll just do a couple minutes of frequency work while you close out with a prayer.
Yeah, that would be great. Yes, let's do it. Okay, so I invite you to take a couple of good deep breaths and really let that exhale just sigh out of you. And as you do, sink a little bit deeper into that beautiful earthen temple of you. And then quiet your breath and slow down that ebb and flow of your breath. Allow the eyes to soften and the shoulders to relax. Relax the jaw, and the tongue will automatically lift to the roof of the tongue, to the roof of the mouth. Just go ahead and relax the face. And the belly, let it relax. And feel your sit bones as they're making contact with whatever you're sitting on. Take a moment to bring your mind's eye to your chakra centers, to the vortexes within you. Let's start at the root. And just simply ask that it open, clear, and spin in its most perfect and appropriate direction for you. Notice whatever comes to you. Your witness. And moving on up to the sacral. Same thing, being in that vortex, noticing it, witnessing it, and asking it to open, clear, and spin in its most perfect and appropriate direction for you. Bringing your attention to the solar plexus. Witnessing, noticing, and asking that it open, clear, and spin in its most perfect and appropriate direction for you. And then bringing your attention to the heart space, the anahata, the unstruck. And noticing in that vortex the eternal light, the divine spark of you, which has never gone out, which will never go out. You are divine love. You are eternal. Breathing into that beautiful space. And that witnessing, asking that it open, clear, and spin in its most perfect and appropriate direction for you. And then to the throat chakra, just noticing, witnessing, and asking it to open, clear, and spin in its most perfect and appropriate direction. And the third eye, same thing. The witness, the asking to open, clear, and spin. And the crown. Witnessing, asking that it open, clear, and spin in its most perfect and appropriate direction for you. And feeling into the vibrancy of who you are. We offer gratitude for all the lessons learned, all the gifts given, for the seen and unseen moments, for all that we've grown into and away from, the blessings, with gratitude. With joy, with sorrow, with confusion and clarity, we give thanks for all that 2021 has given us. And with your chakra system open and clear in its most perfect and appropriate direction, and they're all working together and working for you, and you're bringing yourself into this beautiful divine alignment. Tap into that eternal love of who you are. Be renewed. Be uplifted. Shine your light, dear one. And just stay in that space for just a few moments as Jill and I offer deep gratitude to you, journeying with us. Remembering your breath and your truth. Jill, do you have any insights that want to be shared?
This was just such a beautiful energy, balancing, kind of just a nice overall, gentle, loving, balancing. Thank you for the chakra meditation, the energy work. I can't even say necessarily that I felt any specific chakra. It just felt like an overall body balancing. So how perfect to end the year with. And there was a nice integration in there. Everybody, if you don't know, this is an integration. I don't know if this would be considered a mudra, but it's an integration pose. So there was a natural integration in the frequency
How
work.
do you do that? How do you do that?
Okay, so arms in front of you, clasp hands, pull up into your heart and then up under your chin. And then often you'll hear people say to cross your ankles as well, which mine are. And if you can't do that for whatever reason, then visualize it in your head.
Always do.
All right,
Thank
my
you so
beautiful
much
sister.
for being with us. Thank you, dear friend.
All right, everyone, thank you for journeying with us in 2021. And if you're new, thank you for joining us. And we look forward to spending 2022 with you, building and or deepening our sacred foundations. Love everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.